Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be making my crunchy, nutrient dense, fatty, yummy granola that is filled with some of the best ingredients, nuts, butter that your kids will love. Not only your kids, anybody you give this granola to would come back for more. So here are the ingredients you need for the granola. You need oats, you need crushed nuts. So this is walnuts. We are just crushing it manually. This is what it looks like when it's not crushed. And then we need walnuts. We're going to crush this as well. Then we need coconut flakes. So these are some of the dried ingredients that we need. I will show you the other dried ingredients in a bit. So we also need cocoa powder and salt. Then for the wet ingredients we need peanut butter and any oil of your choice. So we're going to start combining everything in here now. So we're done with smashing crushing the nut. So this is the walnut crushed, and this is almond nuts crushed, and then under it the bulk of granola is the oats. So in here I want to mix all the wet ingredients. For the wet ingredients we have honey. I didn't show you honey earlier, but we have honey, oil or whatever oil of choice, and we also have peanut butter. So I'll mix all of that now. When you add all the wet ingredients, you mix. You want to make sure that the honey, because the honey is thicker than oil, so it will settle at the bottom of your container. So you need to make sure that you're mixing it until everything is emulsified, everything is well combined, because if you don't mix it properly, some of your granola would be sweet and some will not be sweet. Some will have more peanut butter and some parts will not have peanut butter. So you have to make sure that you mix it very, very well until everything is completely combined. I also like to add the cocoa powder and the salt to the wet ingredients, and also vanilla extract to the wet ingredients, because it helps me to mix it in very well with the other ingredients. As opposed to if I add the cocoa powder to the nuts, I might not be able to mix it completely, and I don't want some parts to have more cocoa powder than the other parts. So you just continue mixing it very, very well until everything is fully dissolved and incorporated. The next step is to gently add the dried ingredients, which are the nuts, the oats, walnuts, and almond nuts. You can add any other nuts that you like. Some people add pecan, some people add sunflower seed. There are other nuts that you can add, but these are the ones I use. So you add them. Ideally, you'd have to divide this into two so that you can properly mix, but you see later that I eventually divided it into two because it was difficult for me to mix it all in one bowl. But this is serious arm workout, so you just have to mix and mix and mix until all the dried ingredients are incorporated and mixed and coated with the wet ingredients. So at first, when you're mixing the dry and wet ingredient, it might look as if the dried ingredients are a lot or way more than the wet ingredients, but just continue mixing. It's a good arm workout, but when you're done, this is what you're going to be looking for rather. All the oats, the nuts, all the dried ingredients should be well coated with the wet ingredients mix. So now we're going to transfer them into the baking trays. You want to put a not too thick. Some people put parchment paper, but I don't put parchment paper because I don't really see the difference, so I just put it directly. You want to make sure that you are not heaping it too thick, and then you spread it so it's flat. Granola, you have to reduce your oven's temperature to the lowest because from my experience, it loves to bake slowly with very low heat as opposed to fast and high heat. So if the temperature of your oven is too high, it's going to burn, and the water content in granola is very small, so you're just slowly roasting it. That's essentially what you're doing in the oven. So you have to check it from time to time, every 10 to 15 minutes, flip it, turn it, make sure that the bottom is not burning, and reduce your heat if you find out that it's burning. So the next step after baking it in the oven, I like to spread it on a tray like this for it to cool. And then when it cools, it's crunchy like this. Then the coconut flakes I showed earlier, I do not roast it because it's already roasted. So under here, I have some of the granola I brought out earlier. So it's at this point I add the coconut flakes. So when everything is cold, I would mix everything in one bowl, add the coconut flakes, and mix everything in, mix it together. It's also at this point that you add raisin. If you want to add raisin, you can add raisin at this point. But my my family don't like raisin, so I make it without raisin. But this is what the granola looks like with the nuts and coconut. It's really crunchy. So you repeat the process over and over until you're done baking the entire batch. I make a huge batch, sometimes up to 10 kg volume of granola, so it's usually a lot. But if you're doing a smaller batch, you would not like spend as much time as I do. But the results outweighs the time, the stress, and everything, because this amount of granola lasts my family for a month, sometimes more than a month, and we give a lot of it out to my friends and family as well. Everyone loves this granola, even my mother-in-law. Anyone that has tasted this granola always came back for more. So I'll leave all the ingredients in the description. I'll leave all the vendors I buy my ingredients from. I'll leave all the measurements as well. And if you make it and you love it, please let me know. I'd really love to hear from you guys. Now I'm packing it in this Ziploc bag. So this is how I store it. Another thing you need to know is that this granola has to be stored in the fridge because it doesn't have any preservative. So I put it in the bag and I store it away in the fridge. That's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, to share, to like, and all those amazing things. And most importantly, please try out the recipe. I promise you, you'll come back with amazing feedback. I promise you. Take care. See you in my next video. Bye.